So firstly, I'm just going to cover what Office 365 actually is. And then I'm just going to jump into some examples just to illustrate some of the benefits in learning and teaching. They're certainly not restricted to this. I just wanted to pick out a few that I thought would be highly applicable to you all. So firstly, what is Office 365? Well, you're probably all used to having a copy of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. sitting on your computer. What the biggest difference is with 365 is it's all kind of cloud-based. And for those of you that have no idea what cloud means, and I know that's often the case, a practical example of that is that I might be working on my desktop and creating a Word document. I then leave work, jump on the bus because I work really hard, and I want to keep working on that document. So it's all there for me on my phone. There's an app, and I can continue working on that document seamlessly. So it's not tied to an individual computer per se. It's tied to an overall kind of cloud version of things. The other, I suppose, distinguishing feature is there's a lot more tools, as an example here of what's available. So it's not just your typical products you're used to seeing. There's a whole range of tools, and I'll cover some of those in more detail. So as pointed out, every student has access to Office 365, as well as every staff member now, as of the beginning of this year. So you are able to have 5 copies installed on a PC, Mac or mobile device. Some details there around how you can download those. You get 1 terabyte of storage for OneDrive. For those of you that don't know what 1 terabyte is, it's a lot. Unless you're doing a crazy amount of video stuff, you probably won't even get to 50% of that. Plus, there's obviously a whole lot more within each tool. In terms of how to access, I'd encourage you, if you're within the business school, to do so via our portal, because it's all there in the waffle menu up here, all of the tools. But also you can keep in touch with around the business sort of news that's happening within the school, as well as access templates and things like that. If you sit outside of the business school, there is portal.office.com as well. And finally, there's just some really good help resources available as well internally for you to get some more hands-on experience, as well as potentially book some training sessions. Okay, so on to some of the benefits. The first one, coming to a lecture theatre near you, we're still on the old version of PowerPoint, but during semester 2, I understand we're changing. You have what's known as presenter view. So right now on the laptop here, I get what you're seeing up here. So not only can I see my slide, I can actually draw over it as well. I can also have my notes available. So if you are delivering presentations in semester 2 and you rely on notes heavily, this is something that you might want to undertake. You can also get a preview of what's happening in the next slide. Rob covered this in great detail, I think, around using Office Mix. So what we've found, we've probably had around about 30 academics this year use this for a range of, I suppose, practice, predominantly for pre-lecture. But for some, it's actually replaced lectures altogether. So it's a very simple interface, very easy to use. I find it takes about 10 minutes to learn. And from there, the issues that you face aren't anything technical. It's actually around how do you design the videos to make them engaging. Here's an example of how that kind of looks at the end. So you have video, audio against each slide. And then you can resize that video if you wish, or you can have it not appear at all. There's quite a lot of versatility there. Another great feature of this, and it's something that Phil sort of touched on around video, is that while you're delivering, or while students are watching the video, you can also embed questions directly in. So they're able to answer that question in that moment while they're watching the video. And with that, you can get some really feedback. So you can start seeing who's watching your particular slides, how long they're spending, what they're answering in terms of questions, who's answering what. This has proven to be really great feedback. So you can start to get a sense of, am I actually engaging students? Are my videos too long? Are they dropping off at the end, for example? So you can start answering all those kind of questions. Another great tool is Sway. So Sway is a digital storytelling tool. think of it as a way that students can grab content from a whole range of sources and be able to really nicely present it in a web type space. I'm quite passionate about us trying to get towards more assessments that are around this because it allows students to be far more creative. Here's an example of one. So you may have seen our bulletin. We use this particular tool for that. It's another tool that's really simple to use. It's just a matter of dragging and dropping things in, adding text, adding videos, adding images, embedding videos from YouTube is another possibility. Once you've done all that, it presents it in a nice layout for you. There's different templates you can use. So it allows students to be able to give a really nice visual, I suppose, assessment piece that they can each look at and evaluate. And it allows them to do a little bit more than perhaps what you would expect in just an essay form, for example. And it scales really well regardless of what device you use. So seeing it on a screen of this size versus a phone, you get a very good experience. The last thing I wanted to touch on was document collaboration. So a lot of you probably have used Google Docs in the past. A great feature now of Word and Office 365, as well as other tools such as PowerPoint, is that you can share your documents with people and they can work on them at the same time, real time. So for example, if Peter or Danny was to log in while I'm on there, I can actually see what they're working on, as well as being able to then have a conversation with them. So Skype for Business is built in. So students at the moment are doing this in a whole heap of different ways. They're using Facebook Messenger, they're using WhatsApp. What's really nice about this is there's no admin for them. So they don't have to exchange Facebook details. They don't have to create a Gmail account. It's all there ready for them to go. They can just simply search and add students in. So I think it's really going to change the way we, or students, collaborate. And they'll feel a bit more compelled to be able to do things online versus face-to-face. One of the fears, as always, with collaboration is that your work's going to be lost. Think of a wiki where someone goes and deletes everything you've done. Another great feature is that it's keeping a copy of every single version. So if someone overwrites something that you've done, you can go and open that, that version. Finally, just wanted to touch on a product that we're now looking to pilot for semester 2. This is called Microsoft Teams. Now, basically everything I presented to you, this is a central place that we can send students to. So we're really keen to see how effective this, this will be. So an example being with Lynn's course, we can send students here and they can have that OneNote, or they're ready to go, but they can also have some conversations around that because it's kind of built into, as you can see, to be able to talk to each other, reply. So it's kind of a really nicely integrated discussion type tool. If you're interested in piloting this, please let me know. We'd love to have a couple or more participants on, but we think this is going to be a real key space. We do a really good job with the LMS in terms of giving student to teacher feedback, but what we haven't yet provided is a really good space in the digital sphere for students to be able to collaborate. So that's why we're very interested in this.